welcome to another stream here in season 13 of Race Department. Last week we went to the Red Bull Ring in Austria, and what a race that was. We ended up seeing a last minute crash, a wet to dry race. It was quite intense, and I'll just run through quickly the results of that one. I'm just going to get them up from last week because I believe they were changed from penalties. I'd assume that Dawidos got rid of his penalty because that was quite, that was just quite a pretty stupid penalty. I thought he would have got that removed, but I will just have a quick just going through the forums right now just so I can find it. Should be here. No, that is just asking them what it is. Okay, well, I will go through the results and standings. The standings at the moment. So leading the top, I'll do the standings first. Leading the charge at the moment is Dawidos at the top there. He took the win, so yeah, it did get removed and he ended up winning the race. Then Demon in second position after a good race last week. He ended up in 6th. Big C, bad race from him, had a last minute crash, probably about 2 or 3 laps to the end with Will, where he went into the back of the McLaren driver, and that sent them both into a spin, gave him damage, so that completely unravelled their race. Alex found himself on the podium for the 2nd week in a row in that Ferrari car, so he is entering himself a little bit more into that fight. He's actually caught Big C up. Now he's just 3 points back from the Renault car, and then Shelley in 5th. He wasn't here last week. He is back this week in his usual Haas. Then Clarkey had a good comeback drive actually. He finished 5th in the end. Will, no points for him despite him being on a pretty good streak of them. He'd scored points from every Grand Prix except for the first, and then unfortunately he didn't get it last week, so that is him in 7th position. Jake in 8th place. Then 9th for My Name is Jared. He won the race provisionally, but then after Dawidos got his penalty removed, he ended up in 2nd. That is his highest position all season. Ollie D takes up the final spot in the top 10. Then Raymith in 11th, 12th for Dan the Snake, he wasn't here last week. Yaminator in 13th, 14th for Hasnain. He finally got points. He ended up in 4th position. That's 12 points on the board for him, and he went up 6 places in the standings. Van der Rouge in 15th, and Kian, who wasn't here. I do believe that Kian is back. I might be wrong. I am wrong, Kian is not here. He is in 16th, 17th Super Scrub, Berry in 18th, 19th for H Racing, and then Boastman in 20th. Carbon Fibre, who is back this week, is in 21st. Then SJML 22nd, Bankai Bullet in 23rd, B Colts in 24th, then Steve Temp in 25th, and the lone FTRL Danny. He's had 4 DNFs in a row for that McLaren team, so he needs to pull his finger out and get a better result. But we are getting ready for the start of qualifying, 18-minute session, and then of course we will have the race quickly. I'll run through the constructors. Renault on top with 193 points, Haas on 2nd with 148, Ferrari on 81, then Williams on 61, AlphaTauri on 53, and McLaren, who got off to a really slow start, now find themselves on 45 points ahead of Mercedes on 35, pretty much all from Jared, and then Racing Point on 30 points, Alfa Romeo on 28 that is, and then rounding off the grid is the Red Bull team of Carbon Fibre and Raymith, only on 16 points. So we'll see how it goes today. We got actually a really good turn up, considering the lockdown regulations do tend to be lifting. It is, well, yeah, I say a lot, they're lifting. They're actually starting to get a little bit more stricter. So just before we actually get underway, do be safe, everyone, please. Wear a mask, have some hand sanitizer on you, and stay safe at all times. But it is bright and sunny in the Silverstone circuit right here, an iconic track, the home of the first ever Formula 1 Grand Prix. That is right, the first official race back in 1950 was here on a much different looking track. There was a lot less corners and it was a lot shorter, and it was built on a former British RAF base, which is quite an interesting stat. I believe the first driver out on track is the man we're on board with right now, being Clarkey. So he's going on the soft compound of tyre. We'll just see what they're fitting. It seems like they're all going on the softs. This is a pretty easy soft to medium track, given the short amount of laps, and they are using the C3 tyres as the softs, so got some good life on them. But yeah, Clarkey, the only driver out on track right now. Formula Jake has just come out as well. He was one of the drivers that actually went onto the softs at the end. I don't think that was the beneficial strategy. If I just get the results up, because they are on the page that I was looking at the standings on, I will see who came where. So Davidos 1, Jared in 2nd, Alex 3rd, 4th Hasnain, Clarkey in 5th, Demon 6th, NER Alex 20 in 7th, Yamanata in 8th, then Formula Jake with 10 seconds of penalties, I believe that was. Yeah, he got 10-second penalty. Ended up in 9th, 10th for Big C. Will was in 11th, Swander Bruges in 12th, and then Oddie D getting the fastest lap. Crow Nexus in 14th. Ray Myth was classified because he did 90% of the race in 15th, and then the 3 DNFs for the race were B Colt, Super Scrub, and FTRL Danny. So that was the results from last week. Coming through Stowe at the moment is Jay Clarkey, just on his outlap. He's in the 3rd sector, so he's got a little bit before he can get underway. Now through the Vale chicane and up to Club Corner, he will begin this lap, so we'll follow along with him, getting a nice and wide run, enter onto the start finish straight into the flat out right-hander of Abbey Corner, the first turn of the circuit. You can take as much as inside curb as you want, you just can't put all 4 tyres off the track. He's done it really nicely. And now through Village, a little bit of a lock up on the inside right tyre, but it shouldn't hamper him too much, as now opening it up onto the first of the 2 DRS straights, the Wellington straight, up towards Brooklyn, the Williams, one of their home Grand Prix, and it's a 26.8 through the first sector for Clarkey. Very nice so far, I have to say. And now through Brookland and Luffield, he also pretty much nailed it there. And now through Woodcut and up to the National Pit Straight, where they used to start the Grand Prix, and of course the famous flat out Cops Corner on the run up towards Maggots and Beckett's complex, the fast flowing left right sequence, and it's looking like it's very nice here. You do want to go down the gears a couple of times, and then sorry, my mum just texted me, I had to read that. 101.4 through the 2nd sector. Very nice looking time from Clarkey right here. Now up towards Stowe. Want to take it in about 6th gear. He's done that really nicely on the last game. You could actually pretty much abuse that exit curb, and he hasn't done that here. So very nice to see that they are following the rules. And now Clarkey to cross the line through the final corner. What can he do at 24.4? That is his banker time. Formula Jake is the next car up on track. Then it'll be a Super Scrub, so we'll follow along with him once he finishes that one. As Jake crosses the line, what can Jake do? 24.7. Now here we follow along with Super Scrub. He crossed the line, it's 5th fastest, and Big C goes to the top of the standings. What about Davidos, championship leader? Only 3rd fastest, so Big C on a 24.3. Very nice from him there. I believe Alex is the next car to come up to the line. I do just have to cycle through them. There we go. Alex goes 3rd fastest. He's been really consistent actually lately, I do have to say. Ollie D in the final sector. I believe Yamanata is the next driver to cross the line to finish a lap. Yamanata, so shown really good pace in the last couple of races, goes 7th fastest, but now the former Veloce driver, Ollie D, is now going to come through Club Corner to finish off his lap. He goes 3rd fastest. He got the fastest lap last race. Very nice time from him. PR1 Will goes into 7th position, so he'll want to be higher up if he wants to fight with his rivals, which I believe are Clarkey in the championship, and maybe Jared, given his win, 2nd position, last week. Demon is the next driver to, oh sorry, it's Shelley we're on board with. Shelley's the next driver to finish up his lap, and then we'll have some more guys finishing up. There's, I believe Hasnain is the last driver. There's Shelley going 4th fastest. Very nice time from the Haas driver with a 24.5. So we are coming to the end. Oh, unfortunately Hasnain has invalidated on this run. He's still pushing for whatever reason, but I believe that is the end of the lap, so they're all going to come into the pits unless they want to go again. I wouldn't expect them to, but I believe that, who can we actually find? I think Berry's on a lap through the 3rd sector at the moment, just coming through the hangar straight and into Stowe Corner. He actually goes into 5th gear, really revving out the car, and now up towards the Vale chicane. He's actually got really aggressive on the entry there. Did compromise his exit a little bit there, so lost a tiny bit of time. Shouldn't affect him too much, and he goes 11th fastest. Sadly for him, he'll want to improve on that one. But here's the man, CRG Demon, the team manager, of course, of Comrade GG's PS4 team and Xbox team and PC team. He does a great job with the team, and now coming through the first sector split, 26.9 for him on that one. On the medium tyres, do remember those medium tyres can go longer into the race, but of course they won't be as fast as the softs initially. Demon though, looking pretty tidy on this lap, aside from a little lock up into Brooklands. Shouldn't hamper him too much. Now completely flat out, he didn't even lift through that corner. That is some commitment. Very nice from Demon there, completely flat out on the mediums as well, so you really do have to give him for the bravery. Down into 6th gear, could have been validated there. He was actually quite lucky to get away with that, and now through a second sector split, 101.7. that is a really blistering lap time considering he is on the mediums, as now through Stowe corner, pretty much kisses the apex perfectly. All Shelley's left, should be allowed to rejoin though. I don't think there's any rules imposing that you can't rejoin the session, so he should be fine with that one. Here comes Demon though to cross the line. Will he finish? Where will he go? On the medium tyres, 10th fastest for him, but not too far off the pace. Let's just see the gap to the leader. So the entire field who have set laps right now, currently separated by 1.4 seconds. Clarkey is Big C's closest rival, almost 2/10 out, so Big C really is taking control of this session. I have to give it to him there. Hasnain is going to come to the box, so I believe the first driver out is Formula Jake for his second run, unless, oh sorry, Danny's actually out on an out lap, so we might as well follow along with him. There's a Red Bull car just ahead of him. That's probably that's Carbon Fiber, I would say. Yeah, so we'll go on board with Carbon Fiber. He's not had a good season so far, not a single point to his name. He's going to want to rectify that and finally get on the score sheet in the top 10. So we'll follow along with him on his run around here. I believe Danny backing off, just giving himself ample amounts of room. That's very smart of the McLaren driver. He's not moving too much though, so I hope he hasn't spun the car. I wouldn't expect him to, but now, Carbon Fiber, mate, come on. He's validated through Abbey, unfortunately for him, so that is the end of his lap pretty swiftly. He didn't even get through the first corner, but now here comes Danny, who's not had a good start to the season at all. 4 DNFs in the last 4 races. Will he break that duck of even finishing races, or will the streak continue? And oh dear, well, that is not going to help his chances with that one, I do have to say. As Big C improved. Wait, no, I thought he improved on that one. He didn't improve. Jared's on a run right now though, through a second sector, and luckily for us, he's kept it on the circuit. So we will see through the final sector now. Yellow flags through sector 2. That looks to be the Red Bull car of Carbon Fiber, I would say. Oh, actually getting pretty nice exit there. Shelley again leaving the session. He must be having some issues with his internet. Hopefully he can sort them out, get back into the lobby and continue with qualifying. But here comes Jared to cross the line. Second place last week, P12 unfortunately there. So right, let's find someone else. Super Scrub I think is at the end of his no, that is not Super Scrub unfortunately. Right, I think Yaminator's just started a run, so it would be Carbon Fiber, who's not on a lap. Danny is on a lap, but of course he's completely shagged that one, so we won't find him. I think Ollie D's on an out lap, so we won't spectate him. Formula Jake, oh for God's sake, Jake was on a lap and then he bottled it there, sadly. Right, well, should we just keep on with him? Actually, Paul says right now, Big C says he's down on his time, so he might not be too happy about this. He might have some time to make up through here. He's missed his apex through Stowe though. Pretty bad run, and yeah, he's going to come into the pits. So that will shift our focus to Super Scrub, who was on a lap in the third sector. Sorry, through Stowe. Very nice run, a lot better than Big C. Through which we saw just there. Super Scrub right now on a 25.7. Hopefully he can get higher up than that into the 24s. He does improve, but not by that much. He only jumps ahead of Berry there, and looks like we've got some more runs coming to a close. I think Davidos is amongst them. And yeah, Davidos, oh, he's actually just going to start pushing on this lap, so that means the Ferrari car of Alex coming through Vale Chicane and now up towards Club Corner, and he's actually starting a lap. I did not even look at his delta, a 139 there, so not a good time at all. Yaminator's just begun a lap. I think Clarkey's just gone to the top. yeah, good time from Clarkey. 24.2. I think we can see 23 by the end of this session. I am holding out hope for these guys. It would be nice to see. There's a Racing Point car. Is that Berry? That is Ollie D, actually, at the final sector in Stowe Corner, and he's 2/10 up on this lap. He could see himself on pole position, if not on the front row, so let's see how he can do here. Ollie D with a nice run through the Velsh chicane, and now up towards Club Corner, and now to finish the lap. He goes second fastest, not enough to beat Clarkey, but he's seen himself on the front row of the grid, so very nice from him there. We've got 2 comments in the stream, so I will check them in just a moment. Alex pretty much down on his lap. Davidos right now through Maggots and Beckett's. I believe he is actually one of the furthest up on a run, so we'll keep on with the championship leader here, and he's leading by quite some margin, 2.5 tenths pretty much up on his time. This could see him enter the top 4 even if he does find a bigger improvement. Why is my wheel calibrating? My wheel has just started calibrating there. I don't know what happened. That really did shock me. Looks like through Stowe he missed his apex, but he's actually kind of made up some time through Velsh chicane, and now towards Club Corner, the flat out right hander. He did lose some time in that third sector. He goes 4th fastest, so it was enough to carry him through, but yeah, he can definitely find some improvement. This man will be flying on this run on the soft tyres. He's taken off those medium tyres. This could be a really nice lap from him. I've actually just accidentally gone off of him there. Van der Bruges has joined the session, but he's in the Red Bull car. I don't think he can because Ramus just joined, so he might get told to shift out of his seat. Demon though through the final sector now, braking at the 100-meter board, just past it. That is really your sweet spot. He locks up. Hopefully that hasn't lost him a major amount of time, but Demon's across the line, second fastest. No one is topping Clarkey at the moment, even though they are getting really close. Let's just see. 0.02 of a second separating Clarkey and Demon, and then 400 separating Clarkey and Ollie, and then 900 separating Big C and Ollie. So yeah, they're all really close with it actually. I think Van der Bruges has just got the word that, hey, he's just joined, switch your car, mate. Right, Carbon Fibre on a run right now. When we last came towards him, he invalidated Abbey, and if you don't know what name Abbey is, it's the first corner. Doesn't look like a blistering lap time at the moment from Carbon Fibre, but we might as well keep on board with him, because I don't think there's anyone else further up on a lap right now. So a pretty bad run through Stowe, and he actually got a bit hairy on the exit. A bit of oversteer on the curb, misses apex. This is a really sloppy final sector, I do have to say, unfortunately. Weird run through there, and oh, it's a 26.0 from Carbon Fibre. Yeah, he won't be happy about that one. He'll wanna improve on that one. Boseman has just joined the session. That's a driver we've not seen since Hungary. Sorry, not Hungary, since Australia. Big C coming to the pits. I think he was actually pushing on a lap there because he wasn't too poor on his delta, and unfortunately he just lost all the time. We'll go with Jared through the first sector, who's 6 tenths down. Has he made up in time through here? He's actually lost a further 2 tenths. Yeah, he's not pushing on this run. So we'll find Danny on a lap right now, because Danny, he's invalidated. So we got 3 minutes left in this qualifying session. I'll read out your comments because I feel it's nice for the streamer to interact with their viewers. So I will just go onto my channel, your videos, my stream. I am streaming. I think I have to go onto my channel then. Yeah, okay. So we got CLG Gamer saying woo. CLG Demon win. You watch, biggest fan me. I love you, Gamer, you're the best. Always supports me in my streams when I'm streaming Race Department. That's so wholesome. Shelley on a run right now, of course the teammate of Demon, currently in second position at the moment. He can't top Clarkey at the moment, but we'll see him through his final run, because we've not got too much long until the end of qualifying. Unfortunately, Shelley invalidated on the exit of Cops, so that puts an end to his lap. So we'll go back on board with We won't go with, actually Yamanata is the only driver on a lap right now, so we'll go with the Alfa Romeo driver. We've seen some great pace coming out from him after not scoring for a couple races. He finally has got into a rhythm, so he's done really well in that respect. Let's see what he does through the first sector. Just about 800ths up. I'm going to round that one up to 800ths up. So not going to find huge amounts of time. Wouldn't put him up in position, but of course time is crucial. Any millisecond you can gain is going to be crucial. It could be the difference between pole and second position, and then it could all change throughout there. You're going to pick up a little bit of a slipstream from the Racing Point car, I would expect. I believe that's Ollie D, who's actually going to get out of his way. Hasnain might be a bit of help to him here, but he seems to be a bit too far up the road to really give any benefit to Yamanata, who's found a further 10th or so through this sector. So he's actually doing really well on this run at the moment. Got some yellow flags through the first sector. It seems like a car park down at Village or Farm. I don't quite remember what corner that is. A bit of a correction on exit of Vale, but Yamanata's across the line, 9th fastest for him. He finds 1.5 tenths on the dot. Fair play to the man, as Clarkey picking up a bit of a tow from the McLaren car of that's either Will or Danny. Danny's on an outlap, so he's obliged to get out of the way. Very nicely done, actually. Might have given him a little bit too much tow for some of the guys behind's liking, but you know, sometimes you don't notice stuff. We'll see if we can come back to him. Demon isn't that far up. Just kind of flick through all the cameras. Davidos actually behind him. I believe Super Scrub's on an outlet. Find someone far up on a run. You know what? I think our best bet might actually be... oh, it's going to be Boastman. Boastman will be our biggest bet here to put in a lap. We've got H Racing Green just up ahead of him. Hopefully he doesn't get in the way, and actually he's going to back off on that one, so we'll go back on board with Clarkey because he's pretty much right at the end of his run. So is Will, he's on an outlap. But the man on pole position at the moment, can he extend his advantage into the 1 minute 23s? He doesn't actually improve. He might have got caught up in some traffic there. Demon though found 2 tenths through a second sector. What about Ollie D? Third fastest at the moment. Sorry, it was 4th fastest as Alex goes to the top. Still can't get into the 1 minute 23s though. What about Demon? Demon's in the final sector at the moment. The clock has struck 0, so if you're not on a lap, you're not going to get to put in a lap. That was your final chance gone. Here comes Demon to cross the line. He goes 2nd fastest. He can't beat out Alex there. Dowdos isn't going to find any time on this run. Where's Big C? Big C goes 3rd fastest. They are not dropping into the 1 minute 23s like I'd like to have seen. But H Racing, big oversteer through the Vale chicane. That's going to lose him a whole bunch of time. What about Will? Willer's on a pretty decent run at the moment through Cops through here. He gained almost a 10th and a half through the first sector, so could be a really nice time from him here. What about through Maggots and Beckett and through Chapel now? This is looking like a very tidy run actually from Will, and he's found 3 tenths. Fair play to him. Jared's at the end of his run. But Jared unfortunately did invalidate. We'll go back on board with Will Murdoch here, of course. He's a kart racer in real life. Nice guy as well, I'll give it to him. But now through the final corners of the track, has he got enough to get into the top 10? He goes 6th fastest. I believe Boastman is next to finish a lap. Boastman goes 6th place. A 24.2 from Boastman there. Very clean lap from Sam. Good job to him. I think Hasnain might be on a lap. Hasnain's not pushing. Alex isn't pushing, so I think that could be the end of qualifying. That means Alex would be on pole position. If you are watching the stream at the moment, say hello in the chat, and I'll read them out before we get into the race. I'm just gonna have a little rest of my voice, because I'm starting to feel the tickle come in the back of my throat. I've been talking for 18 minutes straight, just non-stop of what's been happening. I deserve this sip of water, you know. But hopefully all the guys in the pits do retire, and then we'll get back underway. Send me an angel, There's really nothing to talk about at the moment. Shawty a little baddie, she my little thing. Did you guys know there's an anime filter on Snapchat and you should use it because it's pretty sick. My guy looks cool. But right. Here is the grid for the British Grand Prix. We didn't see a 1:23 at all in the session, but Alex on pole with the 24.0. Demon is alongside him, then Big C in third, fourth for Clarkey, Ollie D in fifth, then Boastman, who hasn't raced in quite a while since the first race, in sixth, seventh for Will, eighth for Davidos, the championship leader, Van der Bruges in ninth, then 10th for H Racing Green. Shelley outside the top 10, could be on an alt strat in 11th, subscribing 12th, Yaminator in 13th, 14th for Jake, Jared 15th, Raymond Hasnain, Berry, Carbon Fibre, and then without a lap time, it's FTRL Danny. So will his bad luck continue? Will he keep crashing throughout this race? We've got five viewers actually. This is quite nice. Hello everyone. I accidentally disliked my own stream. Whoops. I'm gonna put a like on that. I don't know what likes do. Nice and sunny though. Oh, lovely. A little bit of cloud in the sky. Shouldn't be too much of an issue, I would think. But you never know. You never know with F1 2020, of course. Could be an issue later on in the Grand Prix. It has happened to me. It's actually looked really sunny, and then all of a sudden, just by a snap of your fingers, it's completely gone. It's all down the drain. It's nice and soggy, and you got to get your wellies out, aka your intermediate tires. We got another comment. Hey, Mr. Commentator, we said I've got to eat dinner. You never saw that. You never heard that. I've got to eat dinner after this, but then I will help yourself. And just so you guys know, it is not real Coke. It's actually Fanta. Okay, it's just on GTA. So yeah, but I will play with you, and I got you, fam. Might do some Vietnam practice because I haven't really done any. Anyways, here we are out on the formation lap. I'm gonna throw out my predictions here, and by the way that I base my systems, by the way that I base my predictions, I just do whoever I feel. Why is Boastman in 18th? What's happened to him? Huh? Right, there's been some sort of glitch with them joining late in the session because he was way off the grid. So basically scammed him and Raymith and Van der Bruges. All these guys were not at the back. Danny was at the back. He's been given free positions. Fair play to the man, you know. But right, I'm going to say Demon wins this race. I think he got confidence. Clarkey in second. Then third for Davidos. That's going to be my prediction for the podium. Gamer, if you're still watching, drop in your predictions. Because why not, you know? I think Big C will come in fourth. Or crash with Will again. They are pretty close to each other. What is Will doing? Will's trying to spin himself. Look at the way that he's tires. I think there's a bit of lag. That might be a case. He's zooming all over the track, man. Like what? Right, okay, let's get the telemetry and all that up. We'll do position change for the start of the race for the first lap. Oh, get a good scratch in on my nose before we get going. Here's Will doing his little weaves. That's what we like to have. We like to have a little bit of fun in Race Department streams. But Alex, the AI, has taken control of his car. It's all about the start for the Ferrari driver, and Shelley's been disqualified. Shouldn't affect him too badly. He won't be sitting on the grid for too long. Right. Gamer, just quick before we start, he's gone. Ben's gonna bang the dub. If you don't know who Ben is, that is Demon, then Connor, which is Big C, then Alex, which is of course Alex. So good predictions out there actually, probably more realistic than mine, because all the guys that I've predicted are not at the top. You've actually predicted the front three. Yeah, great, but he thinks that Demon will get the win. Well, that remains to be seen, of course. He's got to get a good getaway and zoom by him at the start. We're just waiting for the final cars to come into position. Here we are. Right, hopefully we can get a better camera angle than this. There we go, the lights are on. It's 3, it's 4, and it's 5 red lights. They're being held a bit, and they are out, and we are underway here for the Race Department British Grand Prix. It's been a brilliant start for Alex, but a better one for Big C, who's trying to go around the outside of Demon into turn 1. He doesn't pay off there, but now Clark is slotting in behind of him, and there goes Ollie D and Will fighting it out. I think Ollie D has actually gone around the outside of Clarky. He's now trying to fight up the inside onto the Wellington straight now, opening it up and along to the straight, opening up the steering wheel, of course, as someone spun around. I believe that is Van der Broek, but here he goes now. Clarky has to defend to the outside of the track. Has he got the braking? Has he? No, he's gonna just hang back there. But Alex leads the race. He's got a much better getaway than Demon here. So the front three all remain in the same position that they started in. Will trying to track down Ollie D, but he's got a little bit of pressure coming from Davidos behind, and here goes Shelley trying to hang it around the outside of H Racing Green. How could he do this? Oh my goodness, in me. Is he gonna go for the move? Oh, you backed out of it. Come on, man. Meanwhile, Yaminator and Formula Jake having a little bit of a ding-dong battle going on there. Don't know where that one came from. I think I saw it in the TMF Marduk video or something. Here he goes. There goes Will and Super Scrub actually losing the position. Will Murdoch, he's not had a good getaway here. He's lost 2 positions off the start. H Racing Green trying to make a move on the McLaren driver. I don't know if he's got damage or anything, but he's really beginning to struggle at the moment. He's actually going to pull into the pit lane. That does mean he's probably got damage from this one. As they complete the first lap of the Grand Prix, Alex in control of this one. He sets the fastest lap of the race, of course, and now here's where the timing glitches start to come out, because they do like to happen. It says DRS has been enabled. We're on lap 2, man. I love Codemasters. I really don't. It's just terrible coding of the game. You'd think they'd be Codemasters, wouldn't you? You really would. Apparently Ben is leading the race. That is not true. He's behind Alex. Alex is the leader of the Grand Prix. You can see on the minimap, which is correct, I'm pleased to say. And it's all just going wrong. Right, let's put it to the tyres. So Will has opted for the medium tyres here. Interesting strategy choice. He thinks they can go to the end probably. Bothman has actually gone onto the softs. He started on the soft tyres, so he's not going for the alt strat. This is for allow for him to have much faster tyres than Formula Jake, with a bad run through Cops actually. Could invite Bothman in here, as now they fly through Maggots and Beckett's now up towards Chapel Corner. Not really a place you want to go side by side. There we go. The standings have now fixed themselves. Danny's had a little bit of an off. Could Bothman tuck into the slipstream of the McLaren driver and then go around the outside of Formula Jake? Formula Jake has slotted in ahead of Danny, but now Danny's trying to look to the inside line for the next corner, and unfortunately he has to lose that position. A little bit of a slide coming out of Stowe. That's now invited Bothman up the inside into the Vale chicane. Hopefully Danny leaves the space and they don't make contact. They seem to be okay through here. Now Jared trying to get involved in this one. Bothman, there he goes ahead of Danny. Danny beginning to drop down the order despite a really good start from him. I do have to say, he went from about 17th now into 13th place, and he was as high as about 11th position. Now he's unfortunately lost 2 positions in the space of about 4 corners, so that's really hampered him there. Now DRS has officially been enabled. That can bring Demon back into the fight against Alex, who's beginning to pull a little bit of a gap to the Haas driver. Pretty much equal on ERS levels for the top 4. Yeah, just for the top 4, as H Racing Green trying to fight Super Scrub at the moment for 7th position. 6 points on the line for P7. But there it is. He can't get by. He can't fight him just yet. Probably he has actually knocked him out of the DRS of Davidos. So any pressure was good pressure from H Racing Green, because now through Magnussen Beckett, he'll have the DRS through Chapel and then can make a move on Stowe. A really good opportunity to overtake, and as I say that, he goes off the track and now he's going to be under pressure from Shelley, who's starting in 11th position, now up into 8th place on the alternate strategy. Easy move for him really, and H Racing unfortunately was his own corkscrew in the bottle. Cork in the bottle, I think it is, not corkscrew in the bottle, but you do get what I'm saying. As Raymond, he is a Red Bull driver, but of course he's not on the Red Bull today. In 15th place, he was looking at the back of Jared, who got 2nd position last week. He's been on a bit of a points run actually. I actually think Jared has been in the points in every race he's taken part in. As I say that, I think Jared might have had an off there, as he lost the position to Berry and Raymond as well. Raymond's pretty much soaring away from these guys, but now Berry moves ahead of Jared in through Farm or Village. I'm just going to call it Farm. I think the corner before it is actually Village. Meanwhile, Shelley trying to get by Super Scrub, make his way up the order on the alt strat as well. So Shelley could be a really good contender for this race actually. He's going to be a bit of a dark horse in this race, starting from where he did. Not going to be the most expected driver to win, but definitely in contention to do so, given the fact that he is up to 8th place already and now pressuring the Williams driver. It could definitely be an overtaking opportunity into Stowe for the Haas man, and he's actually had a much better run out of Chapel, so now he's going to swoop around the outside to the left hand side of the track. Easy move on Super Scrub there with the DRS, was pretty much a guaranteed opportunity. Demon though right on the tail of Alex here. Alex pretty much defenseless when it comes to DRS. Using a little bit more ERS, he's actually got a lot more in store for him than Alex does. So Alex really on the back foot, especially once they get onto the Wellington straight. He has to have a monstrous run through these next couple of corners if he wants to stay ahead of Ben coming up towards Brooklands, as now up accelerating and now shifting up the gears. Here they go. This could be the move for the lead for Ben. He's opened up his DRS now and using his ERS now. Going to go up the inside into Brooklands, and that is a move to be made. What a move from Demon. He moves into lead of the Grand Prix. So far, gamers' predictions not looking too bad at the moment. Super Scrub lost the position to H Racing. H Racing moving up a position. Yeah, he's not got a point so far this season. Super Scrub not too impressive with the points tally either. So both these guys do need every point that they can carry, and H Racing really has proven that today. He's done a great job with getting up the places and moving up the order. But now, with the battle for the lead in regard to that, it could shift back the way of Alex now that he'll have the DRS and will be able to use his ERS against Demon, or could even go in the favour of Big C. If these guys start scrapping it out, they could open a door for him to move in, and I think Yaminator's just got by. Yeah, Super Scrub almost defenseless there. He really is actually tumbling down the order, the Williams driver, and now he's got Formula Jake on his rear. There might have been a bit of contact between Super Scrub and Yaminator going into the back of him there, but I wouldn't expect it too much. What a run from Big C. He's actually going to try and hold it up the inside into Village. Not a most opportunity to overtake. And oh, Ollie D's gone off the circuit. That's going to allow for Clarkey and Davidos to sneak by. Luckily he didn't spin off there, as now they have begun to form some gaps. So I guess the move isn't going to come yet from Alex. We've still got quite a long way left in this race to go. Ollie D trying to fight Davidos after he crashed out. Crashed out, but Willer's out of the race. He's retired in the pit lane, so that shouldn't be him out here. No safety car for that. Good defense from Davidos, I do have to say, on Ollie D, and he couldn't get the move through Brooklyn, so that allowed for Davidos to get a better exit, as he was earlier on the brakes, and then he was able to hold up the inside. Good defensive driving, but he has lost a lot of time to Clarkey up ahead, as Ollie D tried to make a move, and now he could be on for another one. Davidos with hardly any ERS left. I don't think Ollie is going to try and push too much to get by here, but he's definitely feeling a move coming on. He can sense it, and he's just biding his time. Danny though not out of this race. He's driven 6 laps, and oh, I might be casting him here. He got onto the grass a little bit. His teammate out of the race unfortunately, but Boastman hasn't done many races here so far. Danny has that experience racing with these guys, so I guess that could be advantage to Danny, but they all seem to be running in a massive DRS train, and that just makes it pretty much impossible to actually make an overtake unless it's the guy in second in line going for the guy on in first in line. But you don't really want to do that, because then I'll just put you on the back foot. As here comes Ollie D on Davidos. I don't think through Brooklands, but I definitely think into Stowe at the end of the lap in the third sector is going to be Ollie's sweet spot here, because he's definitely sensing it, and he's going a bit deeper onto the brakes into Brooklands. That's actually, Luffield, but it's actually worsened off his exit, and so now on the run through Woodcote, hasn't got a good momentum to fight Davidos here, so a little bit of a breather for the Renault driver. They've got a big gap back to Shelley, but that will come down later on in the Grand Prix once Shelley's on the fresher soft tyres. He'll be absolutely rapid, and if he's able to make an overcut work, even if a safety car comes out that's in his favour. Ollie D though definitely senses it here. He's closing, he's gaining on Davidos, the championship leader. Ollie D looks to the inside up towards Stowe. Is Davidos even going to try and fight this move? No, he can't hold it, as now moving into P5, and Davidos coming into the pits. He'll be the first driver to actually enter it. Danny meanwhile has moved ahead of Boastman, who's also going to come into the pit lane. Might have been some contact between those two, not too sure, but Big C being a bit held up by Alex, because Alex just sticking in the DRS of Demon. So yeah, but Connor's definitely going to be a bit frustrated at this. All of these guys pretty much at the same level of ERS. I've got a bit of a headache at the moment. I don't know what that's all about. Probably a bit too dark in my room, and that's just kind of straining my eyes. Meanwhile, I think Ollie, or that's Berry. Berry's gone off at turn number 1, and now he's just smashed into the braking board. Pretty much his race completely ruined. Meanwhile though, Alex still behind Demon. Maybe if he can keep up with Demon and drop a little bit of time to Connor, he can open an opportunity to get an overtake. I'm just going to turn my light on properly because it's on dimmers right now, but if I just turn it up, I can actually see a little bit better, and that hopefully won't strain my eyes. Bad run through Maggots and Beckett for Alex, and it's actually made Demon get away from him. Now Big C is going to be given the advantage to fight him here, and I think Super Scrubber's off. That's him on the exit of Chapel, or just mid-corner of Chapel. He's got to wait for everyone to go by. He was on a bit of a charge today. He was fighting a lot of these guys. Demon and Alex both coming to the pits. Big C opting to stay out in this one, so he's going to take the lead of the race. Enough Shelley behind him, about maybe, we'll see it here, how far Shelley is off. It's almost 5 seconds, 4.9, and oh, the safety car is out. What has happened? I can see here that there's a car flipped. There's a car on its roof. Oh, they don't have a roof, but how? It's Van der Bruges has a drive-through penalty. What the hell has happened there? I'm gonna... What? So I think Berry was flipped. It was Berry or Super Scrub, obviously. Those two crashed or something. I'm pretty sure Berry was flipped on his side. And now the safety car is out. So that's pretty much given a free pit stop to Demon and Alex. All those guys who came into the box. Doesn't really help Shelley out. I think that because they're all running under a delta, Big C is actually safe, and he won't be too much. Actually, this can help Big C, because for a bit of their pit stop, Big C was going at full speed. For the entirety of his pit stop, he is safe. He's going to lead this race, unless Shelley doesn't come into the pits, which I wouldn't really expect him to. Net-wise, he'll be leading this race. He'll be ahead of Demon and Alex. And I would expect him, yeah, he's definitely going to come into the box. What about Shelley? What will Shelley do? Shelley's going to come in. Big C, man. 61 kilometers per hour. That was 61 kilometers per hour for Big C. I swear of it. Oh, Connor. That is really frustrating that that's think Shelley and all these guys will come out ahead. Shelley and Jake gonna be under a bit of pressure to get those tires to the end. Big C definitely come out ahead. Or has he? Yeah, he's come out ahead. But that is so upsetting for his race. Shelley, meanwhile, 6th position, soft tyres. This has worked a treat for him. But he's got to make these last 16 laps. I don't think they can go that long. I think the most is probably 12. I would think. Running under the safety car, yeah, probably could save him some life. You're heating the tyres, but you're not really losing any wear or any grip at all. So, it is hard. Gone a bit quiet because there's not really much to talk about at the moment. And also, I'm messaging someone on my phone. There we go. Sorry, I had to. It was a very urgent message. It's a bit personal, but I won't get into the nitty-gritty of it. But it is on the safety car, and there's not much to worry about. We will have one more lap, I would think, on the safety car, then we'll get racing again. Big C leading, but he's got a 5-second time penalty to serve. He doesn't have to pit, so he actually might get that removed, but I would think that there's a threshold that you can't cross, and it's got to be somewhere, even if it's 1 miles per hour over, or I actually have it in kilometers, so he was doing 61, and the limit is 60, and you know, that is the most you can have, and he went over it, so I wouldn't expect it. I would expect it to get removed. I wouldn't expect it to get removed, even if it is a small advantage. It's still an advantage, and yeah, you do have to take it that way. Sorry, Connor, but I don't think you'll get that one removed. You'll just have to go out on pace alone. Hopefully, we will get underway very shortly. Let's just have a full rundown of the grid. Big C leading at the moment. Demon in 2nd. Alex in 3rd. 4th for Jay Clarkey. Ollie D finds himself in 5th place. Then it's Shelley in 6th. 7th for Yaminator. 8th Racing Green in 8th. 9th for Formula Jake. Danny in 10th in his first points paying position. What's happened there? I think Yaminator's off. How has he dropped that? Oh, Yaminator. Right, well, Danny's now in 9th. 10th for Davidos. I think he lost out quite a lot due to his teammate pitting, and then he was held up. So, yeah, that would have been bad for him. He's trying to go around the outside. You can't race on the safety car, Dawid. Then got Raymith in 11th. 12th for Bothman on his race back. He's had a pretty long break from RaceDepartment. Then Jared in 13th. 14th for Van der Bruges. Hasnain in 15th. Carbon Fiber taking up 16th, and then Yaminator was high up the order. Then he had a spin. He might have got turned. I don't know. I didn't see it. But he finds himself in 17th. We've had 3 DNFs from this race. Super Scrub and Berry with their massive crash. Hopefully, I could see on Twitter or something. I don't know if these guys even have Twitter, of their big accident. That'd be quite nice. And then Will Murdoch in 20th position, unfortunately out of this Grand Prix as well. So that's the rundown of the grid. Safety car should be coming in soon. I should have taken the opportunity to actually fill up my water bottle. It's getting a bit empty. I'm just gonna, there we go, have a little sip. The safety car's not coming out, not coming in. We're doing another lap. Right, I would have expected them to come in, this lap, but it stayed out 1 more. Van der Bruges comes into the pits, got a 5-second time penalty. We're under safety car conditions. How are you even speeding? Silly sausage. I will take this opportunity to fill up my water bottle though, just so I don't completely die on stream, because that wouldn't be too good, would it? So I'll see you in a minute. Take care, everyone. I walked out of my room and I forgot my water bottle, so that wasn't very clever. Right, all is well. I'm back, everyone. Let's check that I'm not muted. We're good. I don't know if anyone's watching still. Got 5 people still watching. Hello! My phone's run out of battery, so I can't read your chat. But if you want to say something, say it, and I'll pretend like I heard you. I'm a bit tired today. There we go. Safety car in this lap. And as I was saying before about the clouds coming in, look at that. It's actually gotten pretty much completely cloudy. It's only lap 12. Maybe we can see some rain. If it is, I probably won't expect it to be too heavy. These are quite light looking clouds. So that is all up to interpretation. All these guys know what I don't. But now Big C pulls the trigger a little bit early, I would expect. Because he's going before the braking zone, so that just gives Demon time to catch up. But we are underway once again. Big C crosses the line. He will restart the race in the lead. Got a 5-second time penalty coming his way at the end of the race, unless he pits and then serves it in the stop in the box. But now through the first couple of corners, a gap that jumps out to me is Danny on the back of Formula Jake here. Could size up a move. No DRS of course until 3 laps or 2 laps of racing without the safety car. Clarkey right on the tail of Alex at the moment, 2/10 separating those two, but the slipstream keeping Alex in it. He won't get by. They all have full batteries, so they can use all of it to defend or take a position. I'm trying to cipher through the drivers so I can actually see them. There we go, both of them trying to hang it around the outside at Luffield of Raymond. He's still got a wheel in there, and now they're going to go side by side through Woodcut now. What a move from Boseman. He moves ahead and into 11th position. No points on offer for the double digits, of course, except for 10th place, but a very well worked move. And Davidos, the championship leader, running a little bit wide there and hampered him, so now he's actually dropped out the second. That he doesn't need for DRS, of course. No DRS as of yet. H Racing Green and its teammate for this week, of course, Dan the Snake, is normally Formula Jake's teammate, but not this week, of course. I don't know what's happened between those two. Dan's just not been here. He wasn't here last week, and I believe it was, I can't remember which driver it was. I think it was Alex, NER Alex, to be in his place. But Big C getting off the mark well in on lap number 14. He set the fastest lap of the race, so he's doing pretty well for himself. Shelley though, up the inside, oh my goodness me, that was a pretty bold move to actually go for. Has he stuck with it? He hasn't though, unfortunately, and it's only lost them a little bit of time to Clarkey up ahead. But now Shelley with the run on the straight. There's someone going off the circuit there a little bit. I think it was Formula Jake, and out the inside into Brooklands. Good move from him there. I think it was actually H Racing Green getting a little bit wayward, and that allowed for Formula Jake to slip by. But Ollie D moving down a position. Shelley with 3 laps on these tyres so far. We've been racing since about lap 12. If he is good at tyre saving, he can definitely actually take these to the end. Van der Bruges and Yamanata having a little bit of a scrap through cops there. I wish I caught the brunt of that, but I didn't, unfortunately. But now he'll be on the back of Van der Bruges, who seems to be a lot quicker actually at this point, given that he's on the softs and he's gone off the track a little bit there, dipped a couple of tyres into the grass, his 2 left side tyres, and that will actually open the door for Yamanata to slip up the outside. Can he make the move if he's brave enough to go for a gap? That he always actually got a much better run mid-corner than Van der Bruges. Now they're going to go side by side. Yamanata with the inside line, and Van der Bruges, is he coming to the pits? Why has he come in? Yeah, he's got damage, hasn't he? On his end plate? No, what? Why? Why would you pit? Come on. But Big C doing a mighty fine job of actually getting out the DRS for him. And oh, it's Vandenberg coming a bit to retire. You could have kept going. There was you weren't a million miles off the fight. Wouldn't have been any real reason to come in. But oh well, he's retired. Nothing we can do about it now. That was his choice. Ollie D beginning to fall victim to the soft runners. They pitted, of course. They started on the medium tyres, and they started on the medium, so they couldn't go on to another set of them, and that completely overturned their whole dynamics. They had to come in for either soft or hard. I'm trying to stifle a yawn. It's not working. I'm really tired. I'm going to go to bed a bit earlier tonight. Right, no real fight going on at the moment. The closest gap seems to be between Jake and Ollie, and Jake's got a really nice run on him. Will he dive it into Stowe? Yeah, not really a corner you dive bomb at, so to say. It's more of a corner that you go side by side into, and if you got the inside line, good for you. You probably got the position. But now Demon has actually probably pushed a little bit more, and he's set the fastest lap of the race. Finds himself in the DRS range of Big C, both with similar levels of ERS. Given that this track is about 70% flat out, it is pretty difficult to recharge the battery, so they probably pushed and they won't have much to deploy later. But Big C shouldn't have any real threats from Demon, who here, Clarky on the other hand, saves up his ERS, and he's right behind Alex. Oh, those sips there, they were top-notch sips. It's helped me out, but then my voice is probably going to go about five seconds of talking, and it'll be completely fried. But that is just the way that the world works. Clarky, though, we'll shift our attention back to the race. Clarky could make an overtake very soon here. We're under the bridge at the moment, passing by. He's definitely got a good run on him. He's actually going to look to the inside line, coming into Stowe. What a move from Clarky. He moves up the position. Meanwhile, Foreman Jake behind gets by Ollie D. Are they running side by side still? No, unfortunately. Vale Chicane comes up next. He can't find a way through. Shelley now has to navigate through two cars to get onto the podium, and then he'll be plain sailing all the way to home until he has to save the tyres. Of course, there's 2.2 seconds almost from Clarky to Demon. Demon's really been pushing on this last lap, and he's actually caught right up to Big C here. So could we see a titanic fight for the win of the Grand Prix? We'll have to find out. Meanwhile, Danny in his first points playing position at the moment. Oh, a bit wayward, a little bit of O's there on exit there, but he has managed to get by. And now through Brooklands, the Demon hasn't found an avenue by. Meanwhile, Shelley gets by on Alex. Alex not really got any fight in that one, and if he does try and fight it, it'll just invite Foreman Jake into the fray, so he can't get by there. So what about CRG Demon fighting for the win? And I think, oh, Boastman is out. How has Boastman gone out? There's been a crash and another safety car's out. There's a huge pile up there. I think H Racing Green and Boastman have come together, and now we have another safety car on lap number 17. If Big C chooses to pit here, he'll be serving his penalty, and that will put him way down the order. Colin Piper really adding to his woes today with a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car, and this is probably the worst track to get a drive-through at. What, you're losing about 30 seconds when you pit, so I'd say about 28 seconds loss with the drive-through. Yeah, that's just how things work. But Bozeman unfortunately was running really strong. Actually, he had a good qualifying, completely screwed over by some in-game glitch. Don't know how that happened. Yeah, if I were Big C, I wouldn't have pitted. Guys on the hards and outside the points, why wouldn't you pit? Really and truly, why? You have nothing to lose. You're not out of the points, as the Carbon 5 has been disqualified. How? He got 4 penalties on that lap. Why? What? Anyways, we have 14 runners left in this Grand Prix. Big C leading at the moment, Demon in second, third for Clarky, Shelley in fourth, fifth for Alex. And all of this running under the safety car that they've been doing recently, Shelley can definitely take these sides to the end, and he can push to the end of their life. We're probably going to be racing on about lap 20, I would say, or lap 21 actually, I think is when we're going to get racing again. And yeah, he can definitely take them to the end. He's not wearing them out, so realistically he'll have done about 5 laps of actual racing, probably even less than I'd actually say 4 laps of actual racing on these tyres, and we'll have to do a further 5, so that'll be 9 laps, and which is certainly in their window. Yeah, easy light work. And also it will actually hamper Big C, Demon and Clarky, because they won't get that advantage of the soft tyres running off and then them being quicker and going to the end on their tyres, because the first safety car came out when they really should have pitted in the first place. Yeah, right, so I wouldn't expect them to pit, because if they pitted they'd be right up the safety car. Connor would actually hate to have this safety car here, because it's just bunching the field up together and meaning that his loss is just going to keep on increasing. I shouldn't be laughing about that, I do apologise. He has shown exemplary pace today. It's a lot of these drivers should be striving to be like Big C actually, with how he practices for races. He of course races with his fellow BDG members, the drivers that he's signed, and he's done a really good job with organising PSGL and BDG and their combination event, the Trovo Cup I think it is, or Trovo Sprint Series, I think it's like TRSF1. He's done a really good job working with the guys at Trovo to put that together, so good job from him. And you do have to commend Demon here for his work at CRG, making them probably one of the best teams of all time in Formula 1. The current roster, they've just picked up Matthias. If you don't know who Matthias is, Onyx might ring a bell. They've just signed Onyx. Wow, they are pretty much becoming unstoppable at this point. So big props to him. Clarky, I'm sure he's a nice bloke. I don't know too much about Clarky. A lot of these guys in Race Department tend to be league rating legends, so to say. Like Alex was, I think, AOR season 14 winner. Oh god. Here's where the coughing starts. Yeah, all these guys have been in league racing for a really long time, since about F1 2015. Probably some of these guys have been around, definitely F1 2016. Connor's been league racing since about F1 2010. So that is cool. Yeah, he's been there since PSGL at the very... it's got more seasons than ARL. If you don't know ARL, that would be AOR, of course. It used to be called ARL back in the day, apparently. That's what I learned according to TM at Marduk. But anyways, Big C has got to back up the field here. When is he going to go? Not going to pull a false restart. Looked like it there, as now I think... Yeah, now he's pulled the trigger. He's going flat out. 7th gear. Might have a worse off run than Demon, actually. Now here we go. Back racing once again. This is a great camera angle. Through a club corner, they fly. What an angle that is. All the cars zooming past us, and now coming through the first couple of corners. We're on the suspension camera of Demon. You can see how the car is bouncing up and down, but Clarky right behind him in 3rd position. Connor's pretty much done the start to perfection, so he's done a really good job there. But now the entire field separated by 6 seconds. If it were to finish this way, Connor would be out of the points by miles, actually. He'd be in 12th position out of 14 runners, so he's really got to get a move on, get out of this kind of void that he's in. Age Racing Green and Hasnain fighting it out. Hasnain hopefully building confidence after his race last week, where he ended up in 4th at the end. Oh, Yaminator getting a bit wayward on the curbs, as now coming through Woodcut. Has Raymond got a run to go around the outside at Cops? Can he do it here? As he backs out of the move, just coming through the corner. Would have been nice to see him try and go around the outside, but now through Maggers and Beckett's, could he make a move? Jared's also in this scrap as well, so now coming through the complex, a Ferrari driver. He's a Red Bull driver, but of course he's been put in the Ferrari for this race. Now opening, using some of his ERS to try and close the gap. I don't think it's going to be enough. Meanwhile, Formula Jake though, right on Alex's tail for 5th position here. What can they produce for us? Can we see a nice fight? I do think Shelley and Jake, with their tyres being 10 laps under the safety car, it's not like you're getting nowhere, so they won't be at their best working condition, but definitely still enough that they'd be quicker than the medium runners based on tyres alone. That's what I would think. Raymond and Yamanata still going hammer and tong. It is now Raymond swooping around the outside. He finally gets the position on Yamanata. Those 2-lap-old soft tyres pretty much completely fresh, really benefiting him here. And there goes Jared looking to the right hand side. Good move from him around the outside at Brooklands. Yamanata's still hanging on in there. No, he's actually going to go around the outside, but a big lock up from him. Now going to open the gap for H Green Racing. And all that could have been bad from Yamanata there. He could have went right off the circuit, but now here comes H Racing Green. Has he got the confidence? No, he doesn't, unfortunately. He can't make the move through Cops. That would have been really epic to see. I would have loved that, but it wasn't meant to be, sadly, for the viewing purposes, I guess we can call it. Meanwhile, Formula Jake, though, still on the coattail of Alex. Will he dive it into Stowe? Nah, he's too far back. Yeah, that's what I would expect as well. Bit too far back to make any moves stick. H Racing Green hasn't found an avenue past Yamanata unless he's willing to go around the outside of Vale Chicane. He's definitely braked later, and now a big correction there for H Racing has actually allowed for Yamanata to stay ahead, but now a bad run through Club Corner for Yamanata, the Alfa Romeo driver, beginning to slip down the order. Will he make a move through this? Nah, yeah, he wouldn't go through Abbey, but what about through Village? Can he switch it? Nah, he's tempting us. He's saying, hey, look, hey, and he's just going away. He can't make the move. He can't find a way past Yamanata. He's making his car as wide as possible, to be fair to him, but now with the DRS and Slipstream, and of course the ERS, one of the most overpowered tools in the game. Easy move for H Racing Green, but still Yamanata fights it, and sliding through the corner. A little bit of Tokyo Drift coming out from the Alfa Romeo driver, and now Hasnain, his teammate, might want to make it a little bit more respectful in the fight between those two. But Yamanata's actually got a pretty good run through Cops. Somehow he's still trying to fight with these guys. Meanwhile, Davidos, championship leaders, really had a nowhere race. It's been uncharacteristic of him. But now, Raymond, the rev glitch, not nice to see. Here he goes, though, on Davidos, in through Stowe. Can he make the move? He's definitely in the slipstream, and now up the hanger straight. He's going to go for the move, but Davidos covers him off well, and that has been the position maintained for the championship leader, who's currently on pretty old medium tyres at the moment. Whilst we were watching, Formula Jake got ahead of the Ferrari driver, and he's actually set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. If that's not a tell of how quick the soft tyres still are, then I do not know what is. Really are dark horses in the race. We've got 7 viewers in the stream. Hello everyone. I can't read your comments because my phone has unfortunately ran out of battery. My charger's in another room, so I can't help you out on that one. Demon probably knows that Connor has a penalty, and probably Clarkey as well. So I think Demon, what he's going to do is not try and fight Connor too hard, not catch him as much either, because they're pretty good friends. I would expect them to have mutual respect, that they won't just send rash moves on each other. Very nice sip of water. But with him knowing that Connor has a penalty, probably won't try and send it, even though he is actually gaining on one of the championship contenders, his championship rival. He's going to try and go around down the inside, at Stowe Corner. That shows that he does not care that Big C has a penalty. He wants to win it on track. The number 47 dashed across that Haas car. Beautiful livery, I think, at least. as now coming through the start-finish straight in through Abbey now. Can Big C defend from Demon as Davidos moving up the position ahead of Danny. Danny's had a lot of penalties this race I've seen. As he lost it, he saved the car. But now here comes Raymith up the inside on the fresh soft tyres. Danny could be out at the points in this one, as now he's actually going to hold up the inside. Meanwhile, I believe Demon is definitely on for a move here, and he's got by Big C defenceless with the DRS being so effective on the straights. And yeah, easy, well-worked move, and Raymith is out. How has Raymith lost it there? His race is done. He was on for a really good finish with those fresh softs, but it wasn't meant to be apparently. Too late for a safety car in this race, so we wouldn't have seen a late one where we could have seen all sorts of stuff, and probably been the downfall of Big C, who hasn't really got much of a gap to anyone. It's all a bad run through Chapel for Demon, so now it opens up for Big C. There's a little bit of a drop to the right for Big C. He's going to duck up the inside, a move for the lead of the Grand Prix on Demon. Will Demon try and fight this too hard? He's definitely got a run. Is he going to go for it into the Vale chicane? Where's Clarkey in all of this? Clarkey's just chilling behind. He hasn't got much to fight for at the moment. Maybe he's hoping that they have some sort of running together, and then that opens the door for him. But now Big C has defended the position well from Demon, who tried to attack him on exit. But now that's going to do is shift the advantage back towards Demon, who's going to have DRS for the next straight. Even so, he's had a really bad run through this corner here. So now up towards the Brooklands complex, and then up towards Luffield. He can't get the move. He's too far back. What about Josh? I don't know if his name is Josh. I just assumed. Do apologise if your name isn't Josh. If it is, I'm just a magician. I think I've probably seen something like it on the standings. But Shelley is in this fight still. I'm not going to look at penalties for the top 5, because all of these guys are in the fight for the lead, and a penalty could change it all. And someone who does have a penalty is Big C, and I've never seen so many cars on one piece of tarmac. As now up through Chapel now, 5 cars all in one big train. We could see some multiple overtakes here. Here goes Demon on Big C with the DRS. He opens up the rear flap. He looks to the inside. Connor moves to block him a bit too late, but now he's going to try and hold him around the outside here. We're going on board with Clarkey as now Demon gets the position. What about Shelley? Shelley's just looking behind. I think I saw a spot of rain on the lens. That might have been just me, my mind playing tricks on me, but somehow we haven't seen an overtaking fest. But now we start the final lap of the Grand Prix. CRG Demon leads the race from Big C, from Clarkey, then Shelley and Jake with those tyres probably going off at this point actually. In 4th and 5th position. A great race that they have put on for us, and what a spectacle it's been. As now coming through the Wellington straight now, Big C hasn't got a good run on Demon. They seem to be petering out in the gaps a little bit. They seem to be just getting a bit of a ground between each other, but that could all close up in an instant, as now Demon with a pretty poor run through there. Connor is going to have a better exit, I would expect, but actually he's lost a bit of time. Here he goes though with his ERS. He's using some of that up just to keep within 3/10 almost of Demon. So now through Cops Corner for the final time of this Grand Prix, Demon has to defend as much as he can from Big C. Granted, Big C does have a penalty, but I think it would be nice to win it on track. So here he goes now through Chapel for the final time of this Grand Prix. Bad run from Connor, I would say, but the DRS and ERS combination is going to bring him right back into this fray. So here he goes now. Can he look to the inside line? He's going to have to do a dummy to the outside of Demon now for the final time on the final lap. Has Big C got it? He's got the run. They're going to go side by side into the Vale chicane. As now into the braking zone they go. Big C with that 5-second time penalty, and Big C spun, and there's contact with Clarkey, so Clarkey's got damage, and now it's going to be a 1-2 for Haas. Demon wins the race, Shelley in second. Clarkey's got second on penalties, Alex in third, 4th for Ollie, 5th for Jake, 6th for Shelley. Davidos finds himself in 7th, 8th for Hasnain, Jared in 9th, and they've all finished the Grand Prix. Spectacular there. And it was all that contact between Demon and Big C that completely changed the order of the race. Formula Jake is your driver of the day. He managed to get, I think, whatever, he did really well in this race, to be fair to him, making up positions. But it is CRG Demon winning the race and asserting himself as a true championship contender. He's definitely closed the gap by quite a substantial amount onto the man leading the way of Davidos, of course, who got 2 wins in a row. But that gap is going to come down, because now Demon leads this race, and he's won it here in Britain, his home Grand Prix. He'll be chuffed with that one. As we'll just quickly run through the official grid order. We didn't quite get to finish it. There it is. Your full race results: Demon without a penalty in the win, and then Clarkey as well with no penalties. Alex in 3rd, Ollie D in 4th, 5th for Formula Jake Shelley in 6th, 7th for Davos, 8th for Hasnain, Jared in 9th, 10th for H Racing, and Connor. Big C in 11th position. Danny did not get a point in this race, unfortunately. He finished 12th, 13th for Yamanata. And then your DNFs this race were Raymond, Carbon Fiber, Boastman, Svan de Bruges, Superscrub, Berry, and Will. That is the race department British Grand Prix over. Hope you have enjoyed this one, but from me, it is going to be a goodbye. So make sure you all stay safe in these trying times. Wear a mask, have some hand sanitizer on you, and just keep a safe distance. Don't meet up in groups of 6, and follow every policy to the point. Have a good day, everyone. I hope you stay safe, and I will see you next week.